It's cycle 2. This is the year of foundations when you and your student get to explore the world of knights and kings and battles and explorers, warriors, and leaders. In science, you'll talk about ecology and biomes, the planets, the stars, the moon. You'll also talk about the laws of motion and the laws of thermodynamics. In English, you'll talk about the difference between nominative and objective, reflexive, and indefinite pronouns. You'll also throw in a little bit of European and Asian geography all around the world, actually. You'll talk about the Impressionists, the Romantics, and in Latin, you'll even talk about all the Latin verb endings. It's a full year. Now, if this sounds like a lot to teach your student, well, it is and it isn't. With good preparation, you and your student can be prepared to have the best cycle 2 year ever. So let's talk about that. How can we prepare and get ready for cycle 2? Well, the first step is to read the guide. Can't emphasize that enough. The first 30 pages of the Foundations Guide give you an amazing overview of this program. Why do we memorize? What are the 5 core habits of grammar? How do we use that as we teach our children? Those first 30 pages are great reading every year, whether it's your first year of Foundations or your 14th and you've been doing this a while. Review it. After you're done reading that section, then you can move on to the cycle 2 section of the guide. Now, in the 5th edition Foundations Guide, that's found on page 132. As you read that and as you look at it, have a planner next to you, or even better yet, just a pencil, and jot down in the margins of the Foundations Guide any ideas that jump out at you. Because chances are these ideas that you had very first, those are the ones that will be the most authentic, the most memorable, the most fun with your students. So don't discount those. Ask yourself, what are the themes of the year? Well, it's ecology, astronomy, physics. It's world geography, medieval to the modern world in history. It's the Impressionists, and it's classical and romantic composers. As you think about those themes, begin with a sense of curiosity and wonder yourself as the teacher, because it's contagious. And when you're excited about learning, when you're passionate, that will pass on to your students. Next, you need to make sure you gather your resources. What do you absolutely need? Well, a Foundations Guide and a tin whistle. What's also great to have are the timeline cards, the acts and facts cards. It's helpful to have a trivium table or two. The cycle 2 geography map is a great trivium table to have. Consider owning 1 or 2 really good reference books in history and science. These are great for pulling out anytime your student has a question or when you want to do some more reading on the topic that week. Gather your fiction and nonfiction reading books. Now, a great way to do that and to save time and money is to go ahead and set your library holds now. You can go ahead and do that. Choose books that line up with the 24 weeks of Foundations and go ahead and set those aside. Think about what are the things that every homeschool needs to have in stock always, and stock up on that. That's things like paper or pencils, crayons, markers, scissors, glue, things like that. Make sure you have those at the ready. And then get out your computer and look through the Sandbox e-zine on CC Connected. There are weekly plans that contain suggested readings, morning time plans, activities for history, science, geography, and some ways to dig into the memory work, whether your child is 4 years old or your child is 11 years old. There are lots of great ideas in the Sandbox. Don't get overwhelmed and don't feel like you need to do everything every week. In fact, what you can do as you peruse that Sandbox is make a list of the 5 or 6 things that you definitely want to cover this year. Make sure that those are a priority and you make the time for those. And then make a list of about 5 or 6 other things that would be great to do and you think would be fun, but are not the absolute things that you want to get done. Start making a shopping list of the supplies that you want to have for some activities. Let me go ahead and let you know, week 11, you want to have Oreos. Just trust me on that. Next, you want to organize your space. Now, this does not mean that you need to clear out a whole room of your house, buy all new furniture, and make a schoolroom. If you want to, and you have the time and the energy and the desire and the space to do that, then wonderful. Having a designated homeschool space simply means choosing a place where learning happens and making sure that space has what it needs. Organizing your space also means that you put your textbooks and your reading list someplace consistent. Do your kids know where to get it? Do they know where to put it? then wonderful, it's organized. You can also make an at-home memory work display. This does not have to be elaborate. If you're a tutor, you can use the trifold board that you already are taking to and from community, and you can set that up in your house. Or you can simply make a copy of that week's page in the Foundations Guide and put it on your fridge. You can also get window markers, and you can write that week's memory work on your kids' bathroom mirror. That way, they see it every time they brush their teeth. After you've organized your space, you also want to organize your time. Ask yourself, what kind of rhythm do I want my family to keep? Don't feel like you need to have a schedule where you've organized your time by the hour every single day. That's a great way to burn out. Instead, think about a rhythm. What are your family's priorities? What are the things that are important to you? Put those first. How can you make sure that there is time for that? And then you think about all the extras. What are the things that you value, but don't necessarily have to happen every day? Make time for that as well. Also consider, what are the things we are currently doing that we need to let go in order for learning to happen? Remember to seek first the kingdom of God, and everything else will be added. Make Christ the center of your homeschooling. Make sure that you have time for discipleship and for just enjoying your kids and for relationship with them. As you're considering your time, think big picture. With Cycle 2, think, are there any places locally that provide opportunities for hands-on learning, in-person learning, or for field trips? If there are those places, and there are everywhere, think about the history, the geography, the science. There are places like that everywhere. But consider where that is for you and make plans to be able to have a field trip. Either you can organize one with your community, invite a couple of other families or some of your kids' friends to go with you, or plan for your entire family to go. Finally, don't forget to have fun. For a lot of students, Cycle 2 of Foundations is their favorite year because of all the topics they get to learn about. So don't forget to enjoy it with your students. There are so many possibilities for good reading, for hands-on activities, and for quality time with your students. Have a great year in Cycle 2.